It's all about that race, isn't it, for the top four? 3 places you feel to be competed by 4 sides. Juve against Napoli is going to be huge on Wednesday. Let's welcome back in, shall we, Jurgen Klinsmann and Gab Marcotti. Gab, I want to start with you. There are rumours in Italy that if Pirlo had a bad week, he'd be gone. This is not a good start to the week.
No, and of course they have that huge game in midweek against Napoli, who they're competing with directly, really, for a place in the top 4. I think to some degree there's some mitigating circumstance. Obviously, McKennie and Archer didn't play today because Pirlo punished them for violating COVID rules, hosting a party. They also facing some criminal issues. They had to pay a fine as well. He's got a big call to make whether to bring them back. Look, this was a terrible performance, and it could have been worse. So we didn't see in those highlights there. Delict on Belotti. Torino had a strong claim for a penalty.
Yeah, this is real for Juventus. We're talking about a team who are defending champions, won all those championships on the bounce, may not qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think that would obviously be disastrous also because, their finances hit very, very hard by COVID, like many other clubs, but even more so because in their case, Juve makes so much money off of their stadium. And also, of course, the Champions League elimination coming so early in the round of 16, not something that they had budgeted for. There's even suggestions that some outlets reporting that players may be asked to defer wages. So it is a really, really tough spot. And I think it's going to be a huge test for Pirlo, not just in midweek, but in the coming weeks. And probably also a test for Juve's commitment to the new direction that supposedly they're going in and that Pirlo was charged with bringing in.
Allegri doesn't have a job, Gab. Why don't they just bring him back? He'll get him in top 4, bish, bash, bosh, away we go.
Look, I go back to this, and I may be in the minority, but they made this change for a reason. You can count on 0 fingers the number of teams that are still in the number of Serie A teams that are still in the Champions League. And part of the belief is that what won Juve titles in Italy, whether this is right or wrong, isn't going to work in Europe. That you have to play younger players. You have to press higher. You have to play a different brand of attacking football where you demand the ball and you impose yourself on the opposition and blah, blah, blah. Allegri wasn't doing that, wasn't able to do that in their opinion. Maurizio Sarri came in acting like he was going to do that and then went back to the tried and tested of results-driven football. They're committed to going in a different direction, and that's why they brought Pirlo in. Is Pirlo the right man to take them there? I don't know. It may end up being somebody else, but they say quite firmly, and I think they're probably correct, that this is the direction of travel. This is the way that they have to go.
Jurgen, is this the way they have to go?
Oh, because there is no growth without pain. I mean, Italian football in a certain way is behind. And I mean, it's not only what Andrea Pirlo is trying to do, but I think I remember years ago, Antonio Conte said it as well, that they are not catching up with the tempo of the game that is played in the Premier League or at some points in Spain or in Germany. And obviously this campaign and the European competitions, it all proves it. So it's time to change. They give it a go with Andrea Pirlo. Obviously, it's normal. He's lacking experience. But I think if the whole club is committed to it, if they understand, okay, to take that pain right now and to allow him time to step by step modify the pieces that he needs to modify, they will see positive results. But obviously, Juventus has a fan base globally that is always expecting to win. It's always about the next game. Get us 3 points. It's a very proud club and always with the highest expectations. But they understood the situation. They give it a go now with Andrea. I really, really hope that they give him the confidence, they give him the belief to continue. And even if it takes another year or two, change takes some time.
It's a long time for fans.
Well, not only for fans, for Juventus as a club. How much time do you give them if you're in danger of missing out of Champions League? Juventus is a global club due in part because of the platform that it is provided to them in that sort of environment. We expect, all of us expect Juventus to be in Champions League. We expect them to be successful in Serie A. We expect them, with Cristiano Ronaldo and the personalities within that institution, within that club, to be very much out front of all of us playing in that sort of competition. And if you're going to jeopardize that because you're thinking, well, we got to give Andrea Pirlo some time. He's going to learn on the job. He needs experience. Is Juventus the sort of club that is willing to wait because we need to get Pirlo some experience? I don't think so. If this gets to the point to where you're missing Champions League, I don't care if this is about a transition or not. At some point, you got to make a decision that is best for the club, not best for Andrea Pirlo.
So, Gab, what will be breaking point? Say they lose to Napoli midweek.
I think, in some ways there is an analogy with what we saw with Frank Lampard. In other words, finishing top four is non-negotiable. So if you get to the point where you say, all right, relationships are broken with Pirlo, he's lost it, his motivation's gone, we don't think that we have a chance of getting in the top four with him, or we think we have a better chance in the immediate between now and the end of the season of getting in the top four with somebody else, then I think they may well pull the trigger. But the overall movement, what Jurgen talked about before, and you're seeing this, other clubs already making that transition, whether it's Milan, whether it's Roma, whether it's Atalanta, that's not going to change. And that's why I think it's highly unlikely, unless they really do a complete 180-degree turn, that they go back to somebody like Max Allegri. Not because he's a bad coach, he's an outstanding coach, but because it doesn't fit what they are trying to do. It doesn't fit the longer term project. And maybe it will be a case where Pirlo does the heavy lifting, brings in some young players, gives them playing time, and then somebody else finishes the job. But that commitment that they made, I mean, as I see it, I think it would be absolutely catastrophic to move away from it. Far more catastrophic than taking the hit for a year. As Jurgen said, no growth without pain.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.